Hello everyone. So you know that we are going with the sixth chapter. This is Geordie's Fawn, and almost up to two comprehension we had completed, and now in this video we'll continue with the third comprehension. You know that Geordie is going to search the fawn at the same place where his father was bitten by a rattlesnake, because the fawn was there that time only when his father took the liver of the doe for saving himself. So here now in this comprehension you will come to know that what efforts did Geordie just put to search the fawn, and when he met the fawn, then what kind of circumstances were there when he came back to home with the fawn itself. So let's start with the third comprehension given on page number 91. It is given here that movement directly in front of him startled him so that he tumbled backward. The fawn lifted its face to him. It turned its head with a wide, wandering motion and shook him through with a stare of its liquid eyes. So at last Geordie reached the fawn, and there he just saw that after seeing Geordie, the fawn is just trembled backing, and he is taking his feet back because he was somewhere scared. He recognized that yes, Geordie was also there along with his father, so he recognized the face, and he is just putting himself back, and he's shivering out of fear and some scared also. And apart from that, it is given here that he shook itself out of the stair. The fawn is shaking continuously, and he was staring towards Geordie with its liquid eyes, means the eyes were full of tears, and he was somewhere scared that may be possible that like his mother, the fawn will be in fix. It was querying, and it made no effort to rise or run. Geordie could not trust himself to move, and the fawn was so scared that it does not move here and there, and it was continuously staring towards Geordie. So Geordie also didn't find that proper that he should just move towards the fawn directly. So Geordie waited there. He whispered, "It's me." So Geordie slowly went towards the fawn, and he whispered in his ear only that "it's me," as he wants that he should be recognized. The fawn lifted its nose, scenting him, means smelling him. The fawn lifted his nose up, and then he started smelling him. He reached out one hand and laid it on the soft neck, and the touch made him delirious. So delirious means extremely excited. So Geordie put the fawn up into his arm, and he just made him a touch so that he should feel himself, and that was extremely excited that time. That fawn was extremely excited, and he put his arms around his body. A light convulsion passed over it. Convulsion here means the shivering. A light shivering just passed in Geordie's bodies also, as he is going to do some good work. So he put the arms around the fawn, and he is trying to just soothe the fawn, as he has suffered a lot during the last time. Further, he stroked its sides as gently as though the fawn were a china deer. China deer here means a clay deer, or you can say Geordie is giving that kind of a treatment to the fawn, that he is a clay deer only, and he is just very delicately handling the fawn there. Its skin was very soft, and it was sleek and clean, and had a sweet scent of grass. Sleek here means smooth and shiny. So the skin of the fawn was soft and sleek, shiny and soft on the other hand, and it is giving the sweet scent of grass, as the fawn was wandering in the bushes only, in between the grass only. So the smell of grass was still there in the fawn. He rose slowly and lifted the fawn from the ground, and its legs hung limply. Then just very delicately, very slowly, Geordie put the fawn down on the ground, but the legs of the fawn was continuously limply. Limply here means shaking. out of the fear, out of the hunger, don't know. But yes, its leg was shaking continuously. They were surprisingly long, and he had to hoist the fawn as high as possible under his arm. So those legs of the fawn was quite long, and they were surprisingly long actually. And he had to hoist the fawn as high. Hoist means he has to pull up higher the fawn in his arms only, so that he should those legs of the fawn should not touch the ground. He was afraid that it might kick and bleat at its sight and smell of its mother. He skirted and clearing the pushed his way into the thicket, and it was difficult to fight through his burden. So, although on the other hand, Jordi was also feared that may be possible if, as he will remember about his mother, the fawn may just kick himself, and it will be hurt. A fawn must be hurt, and it will hurt the Jordis also. So very carefully Jordi was moving towards the bushes. It was clear he is passing through the clearing, and he's clearing the bushes in front of him, and on the other hand is putting the fawn into his arms only, and that burden he also was bearing, and but yes, without any difficulty. Further he is saying that its lead bobbled with its stride, and his heart thumped with the marvel of its acceptance of him. He reached the trail and walked as fast as he could until he came to the interaction with the road home. So, but apart from every obstacle, Jordi was quite excited as he had got the fawn, and he wanted to reach home as fast as he can. He stopped to rest and set the fawn down on its dangling legs. He wavered on them, and it looked at him and bleated. So question also will be there in the text, that how Jordi took care of the fawn when he was moving with that. So Jordi was taking proper care of that, as the legs of the fawn was continuously shivering, and he was not able to move properly. So Jordi was putting the fawn into his arms only, and as he was feeling tired, he was putting the fawn down for some time, and then he again put the fawn into his arms like a baby. And he said, enchanted, I will carry you after I get my breath. And he is continuously saying to the fawn that don't worry, I will carry you up to my last breath. I will take care of you. He remembered his father saying that a fawn would follow if it had been carried. So it was saying by his father only, and Jordi had remembered that if a fawn we will put into our arms only, so definitely it will become your pet. It will follow you wherever you will go. He started away slowly, and then fawn stared after him. And yes, the same had happened, that further continuously he was moving slowly, and the fawn was also following him, and he was actually expecting that fawn was expecting that Jordi will carry him along with him. He came back to it and stroked it and walked away again. It took a few wobbling steps towards him and cried piteously. So fawn was actually not well. It was having some pain. So as Jordi was putting the fawn down, it was wobbling continuously, and he is crying out of the pain. It was willing to follow him, and it belonged to him. But now it was a Jordi's fawn, and he was expecting from Jordi's that he will just take care of him, and he will put him up into his arms. So he was continuously staring towards Jordi. He wanted to fondle it, to run and romp with it, or to call to it to come him. He dared not alarm it. He picked it up and carried it in front of him over his two arms. It seems to him that he walked without effort. So Jordi also wanted that he should play with the fawn, and he wanted that the fawn should run, and he should go after that, and he should pick his fawn up into his arm like that only. Actually, he wanted to play with the fawn, but it was not possible at that moment only, because the fawn was not in that condition. But yes, Jordi was giving his proper effort for the fawn. His arms began to ache, and he was forced to stop again. When he walked on, the fawn followed him at once. He allowed it to walk a little distance, then picked it up again. So like that only Geordie was just continue with the fawn. He was picking up the fawn again and again. As he was feeling tired, he was putting the fawn down, and as he was moving forward, he was again putting the fawn up, and very carefully he was going with the fawn. Then in this paragraph you will find that attempts of the Geordie only as he has walked away. Further it was given here as Geordie just reached at home, then suddenly he called his father, that Pa, look. Penny turned his head. Penny, his father, he turned his head towards Geordie. Geordie stood beside him, the fawn clutched hard against him. It seemed to Penny that the boy's eyes were as bright as a fawn's. He said, I'm glad you find him. So as Geordie was quite happy that he got his fawn back. So his father recognized from his eyes only that light was there in his eyes, and he recognized that yes, the boy has got the fawn, and he said directly to the boy that I'm fine, I'm happy that you find the fawn. Geordie then went to the kitchen and the fawn wobbled after him. Now here they will tell that how Geordie started giving feed to the fawn. He went to the kitchen directly, and there in a pan he took his morning milk, and then in the he has just put the skimmed milk there, and he put that in a ball, and he just give it to the fawn. But actually fawn was too small and was not able to drink the milk. Actually it doesn't know that how will I drink the fawn. So Geordie helped him in that manner also. He just put some milk into his fingers only, and then he just offered to the fawn, and then fawn started licking the fingers, and like that only he came to know that by licking only he can drink the milk. And then Geordie put forward the whole ball in front of the fawn, and it started licking the milk from there. And as now fawn was totally full, he had taken milk after a long time, he had taken feed after a long time, so he just stayed there only. He was feeling dreamily means slippery here, and it was ecstasy to feel its tongue against his hand. But yes, like a father, like a mother, like only Geordie was feeling extremely excited as he had feel the touch of his tongue on his finger only. Its small tail flicked back and forth, and the tail of the fawn, it was just continuously flicking here and there, and the last of the milk vanished in a swirl of foam and gargling, and like that only it just sucked the whole milk in the ball. So this was the story. This is Geordie's fawn. So we had completed the third comprehension also, and now in your homework you will go with the comprehension check of the third one, and the textual questions will also be there. So during the live session we'll discuss these questions only. I'm ending this here only. Thank you.